This is what you have to do if you want to get public speaking engagements. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Carlos here. Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk, my all-new series in which I answer your social media questions and interview interesting guests in the world of business. I am back here at the NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center in San Francisco. It's been a little while since I've been here in the studio recording Real Talk because I have been busy speaking all over the world on social media, including Snapchat, Instagram, live video. Over the last couple of weeks, I was in Bolivia. Before that, I was in Bogota. And the question that I get asked from a lot of you is, Carlos, how do you get public speaking engagements? So on this episode of Real Talk, I'm gonna go ahead and address just that because I know there's a lot of folks out there, especially in the marketing community, that are looking to take their knowledge and go ahead and apply it at conferences, which is great. So there's one key thing that you absolutely must do if you want to assure that you're going to get yourself on stages. But before I tell you what that one key is, I'm going to go ahead and also share with you what are some other things that you should be doing to go ahead and speak publicly at conferences or events. I first want to share with you that I've been doing public speaking now since 2014. So I have not been doing public speaking as a social media thought leader for very long. Again, I've been doing this for just a few years. And the way that I personally got started into public speaking and being viewed as a thought leader in my industry was through contributing content of value in my industry. So really step number one, if you want to go ahead and speak on stages at industry conferences and events, is you have to go ahead and create thought leadership to really position yourself as someone that is a practitioner or experienced leader in your space. And experience is something that doesn't come overnight. It really takes time for you to go ahead and build experience so then you can go ahead and teach people, which really brings me to my second point. Are you able to teach? Are you able to show someone, or in this case, a group of people, how to actually do something that's going to drive real ROI in their business? Because I tell you what, there's a lot of folks that go on stages. I see this happen all the time at conferences. There's a lot of folks that jump on stages that read a case study or they read a couple blogs and they think that they're an expert on a social media platform, or they think that they're an expert on a certain topic, but yet they've never done the work before. And it's important that you actually do the work. That way, when you go stand on a stage and you teach people this is how to use this social network, or this is how you can go ahead and drive, for example, more growth to your website through social media, have the experience in doing it to then show people how it can be done, and more importantly, how to go ahead and drive ROI. So if you don't have the experience, you first have to get the experience, create some leadership or thought leadership content around that experience, and then go ahead and give it a go trying to speak on stages at industry events. Now, before I go ahead and give you my ultimate ninja growth hack to ensure that you're going to go ahead and get on stages, if you have absolutely no experience public speaking, and there's a lot of you out there that have never actually gone and spoken in front of a big audience, other than maybe a few folks at a boardroom meeting, at your company, maybe you've spoken at a couple smaller events, make sure that you're doing as much as you can to volunteer at industry events. Here's where I'm going with this. I'll give you an example. Social Media Marketing World is the largest conference in the social media industry. It draws over 4,000 people to San Diego every single year. Social Media Examiner, who hosts Social Media Marketing World, is constantly looking for volunteers to help out at their event. So if you don't have the chops quite yet to go ahead and speak at a conference of that magnitude, go ahead and reach out to those conferences and see if you can go ahead and volunteer. By being a volunteer at these conferences, it's going to give you an opportunity now to rub elbows with other speakers. It's going to give you an opportunity to attend a conference potentially for free, which will go ahead and save you a lot of money. It's going to give you the access. It's the access that you really need to get your foot in the door to then build relationships with the folks that not only organize and host the event, but it's those folks that organize and host the event that can also go ahead and put you on their radar for next year's event, or at least get on their radar, period. And I'll share with you, before I became a 3-time speaker at Social Media Marketing World, I was turned down twice. 2 times I was turned down speaking at that same event before being invited to speak 3 consecutive years in a row. So if you get turned down the first time, don't go ahead and get discouraged. Go ahead and volunteer and start off small. Instead of having these high aspirations to speak at the big South by Southwest or the social media marketing worlds in your industry, go ahead and start small. Offer to speak at some Chamber of Commerce meetings in your community. Go to local colleges in your community. Community is really the heart of where you should be focusing to apply your time and effort. Before you go ahead and dominate the world, you have to dominate your community. So now I'm going to go ahead and give you the ultimate, what I like to refer to as ninja growth hack. If you really want to go ahead and get on stages, you have to have a pitch to conference organizers, which is unique. Here's where I'm going with this. Let me go ahead and explain. Conference organizers get hit up every single day, multiple times throughout the day, with pitches from people like myself that are experienced at speaking. And they tend to go ahead and show a little bit more preference to those that are experienced because, once again, the key word is we have experience to bring to the table. So if you want to go ahead and stand out from the folks that are much more experienced, you have to go ahead and have a pitch that no one else is pitching to them. So you have to have a topic that's unique. I'll give you guys an example. 2 and 3 years ago, when marketers weren't talking about Snapchat yet, I was one of the first marketers that was hitting up conference organizers and offering to come to their conference for free, because that's another thing. Not everyone gets paid to go ahead and speak. It's not like winning the lottery, like a lot of folks out there think that there's all this money to be made in public speaking. It doesn't work like that. So I was offering to conference organizers to go out to their event to speak for free on how to use Snapchat for business. That gave me a competitive advantage over a lot of other marketers out there that were still talking about Pinterest and Twitter and LinkedIn, other social networks, when no one was talking about Snapchat. So if you want to go ahead and assure that you're going to get speaking opportunities, you have to have a pitch that's so unique that no one else is doing it. Actually sit down and study at all these big conferences in your industry. What are people talking about? Chances are they're talking about the same old live video, Facebook ads, Instagram stories, Snapchat for business, you name it, you name it. That's already being done. So what's your unique value proposition and what's your unique spin to go ahead and pitch to these conference organizers that's going to set you apart when you take into account your experience along with that pitch and you combine them together? That, my friends, is what's going to be the difference maker in getting you on stages over potentially people like myself and others out there. And that is Real Talk. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Real Talk. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to INC International Concepts, available exclusively at Macy's, for hooking me up with these threads that you see. Thank you so much once again to the NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center here in San Francisco. And if you like this episode of Real Talk, go ahead and share it out with your friends and give me that subscribe on YouTube. I'll see you guys next time.